This is a free call from
Hey, it's Gypsy.
An offender at the Chillicothe Correctional Center.
This call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
To accept this free call, press 1. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
Hey, Gypsy. Hi, Gypsy.
Hi. So the reason why we decided to get married now versus when I get out is because I'm going back to Louisiana, and whenever someone's on parole, if they're paroling to the state that they committed their crime in, they can parole to a halfway house. They can parole to a friend. But because I'm doing what they call an interstate compact, I have to parole to immediate family or a spouse. So meaning I can't live with a boyfriend straight out of prison on parole. I've been in a relationship with Ryan for about 2 years. It has not been an easy relationship, and that's mostly on me. I think it's solely on me. Like I said, I've been dating for a couple years now, and I think that only added more trust issues to my problem. And so I gave Ryan hell. Like, I did not want a relationship after my last heartbreak. Ryan and I just became he's my best friend. I tell him everything. He's the one that I come to for everything. And it just slowly started to be more romantic. And, shoot, it's rare when you can put your heart and soul out there again and again to someone.
Well, I got a question. With the publicity of this case, did you have any type of cult following of men that wanted to date you or were contacting you or pen pals?
There is a lot. I get a couple of guys a week just like, hey, sending me messages like, hey, I'd really like to get to know you. I watched, whatever on TV. I heard about your story. Like, you seem pretty interesting. And I kind of shrug my shoulders and I'm like, whatever. Like, I've heard every line in the book. I'm over it. Like, please. I even had one guy that was like, I'm your Prince Charming and love at first sight. I'm like, I don't even believe in that shit anymore. So gotta go.
Now, with Ryan, I was going to ask if you knew if he ever had any type of mental illness, addictions, or arrests.
For Ryan?
Yeah.
He's never been arrested, never been in trouble with the law. He had a little bit of issues with addiction in his young adulthood, but he is 12 years sober.
Okay. And so, how do you perceive that you guys are going to continue on? You need to heal. This is going to be a lifelong journey for you, in part with your history and childhood and all this trauma you experienced. You plan on going to couples therapy?
Absolutely. I want us to do couples therapy. I want to do my own personal one-on-one therapy when I get out. It's actually one of my stipulations of my parole that I have to. But I was going to do that anyway. But in the meantime, since I do still have 16 months till I get out of prison, I've learned the wonderful world of podcasts. So I've been listening to mental health podcasts and also couples therapy podcasts. And Ryan and I do 2 a week, and we kind of discuss it, and we have very good open communication.
That's good. What kind of obstacles or problems do you perceive that you guys could face together?
I definitely feel like having new experiences thrown at me that I don't know how to handle. I can see myself, I don't like change. I really don't like change. So with that being said, when something changes out of my normal routine, I freak out. I cry and I shut down. I close off. And I just don't want to talk or letting anyone in. So I think dealing with certain triggers for me is going to be an obstacle. I'm very proud of him. He's done really good so far at learning whenever something like that happens, because I have a tendency to push him away. So at least now he's learned, instead of, because I say I don't want you around me or leave me alone. I'm not saying that. That's not what I want. I want you to stay. I want you to love on me, and I don't want you to leave me. So it's like the opposite.
So you've been controlled all your life. Your mother smothered you 24/7. Then you're incarcerated in prison, another controlled, structured environment. I mean, you ever think it would be good just to be alone in your life, just to be free and just be independent?
I've thought about it. Like the months leading up to
This
the
call
wedding.
is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
The months leading up to the wedding was probably the worst it's ever been of really, really thinking about something like that. And I had to weigh out the pros and cons in my head. I'm like, am I really ready to get married? Am I really ready to commit my whole life to one person? Everybody kept telling me, go live your life, go do this. And I guess in my head, I'm kind of like, well, there's nothing that I want to do that I can't do without Ryan in my life, other than be with other men and be in other relationships.
Well, do you feel like Ryan may have control you like everyone else has in your life?
No, I feel like this is the first relationship that I've ever been in that the person that I'm with lets me take the lead in a sense. We bounce off of each other. When I need him to be a leader, he is. But the majority of the time, I'm in control. I make my own decisions, and he respects them. And that's new for me because no one's ever done that in my life.
And along those lines, you've essentially been failed and let down by everyone in your life. So are you optimistic that Ryan won't do the same?
I am very optimistic. I feel like because Ryan knows so much that I've told him that I haven't told anyone else, I feel like it's just not in his nature to want to control me like everyone else did in my past. I feel like he's even told my father this. He's told me this. He's reassured everybody that if I want to do something, he is not going to prevent me from doing it.
So you're in prison now. What is your coping process in prison?
It's a lot healthier than it used to be. In the first couple of years of my incarceration, I coped using drugs. And it was closing people off, using drugs, doing very unhealthy things. I've taken several classes throughout the time that I've been here, like trauma resolution, grief management, things like all these classes that the prison offers. I've taken every single one of them, and it has taught me better coping skills, like anxiety management too, breathing techniques, meditation, all of these things I've combined. But honestly, the one thing that I think is my main coping, and it might be a little codependent, I'm not going to lie, is talking to Ryan. Like telling him how my day was, and he's always so reassuring and optimistic about things. That having that reassurance is what keeps me going and keeps me positive.
Do you think you've been rehabilitated in prison?
Somewhat. I feel like to some degree I have been rehabilitated, but I do not feel like it is to the extent that it can be if I was outside of prison. If I was outside of prison, I can go to a therapist and have weekly sessions if need be and learn more coping skills than what they just teach here. Do I think that I'm ever going to commit murder again? Absolutely not. I've never even been in a fight. I'm not a violent person. I'm a very passive person.
So why don't you think you'd never kill again?
Because those kinds of thoughts don't enter into my head. Like, there's no reason, there's no threat There's no danger to me anymore. I don't feel like I need to kill to protect myself.
So Dee Dee certainly was a target.
Yes.
And I mean, I have concerns, certainly that, again, you live such a sheltered and controlled life of abuse, neglect. You met Nick, who had mental illness and a history of criminality, and just like your mother did. And now you're in another relationship, even though it's in prison.
This call is
and you
from a
still really
correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
And you still haven't lived in the real world yet. Do you have any fears or concerns like that?
I do have fears and concerns that, because I have been sheltered, that there are going to be situations that I find myself in when I get out that I've never experienced before, but I don't plan on doing it alone. I plan on having still a very close relationship with my father, a very close relationship with my stepmother, and my sister and my brother and family. Like, I don't feel like I'm going to be in any harm's way. I know bad things are going to, everybody goes through bad things. Not every day is going to be rainbows and sunshine. That's life. But just because I've been through what I've been through doesn't mean I have to crawl in a ball and start eating my hair. I am going to live as normal as I can and with the resources that I will absolutely take advantage of.
Do you think Ryan will talk to me?
I think Carolyn might be working something out with that, but I think that there were talks that he would be willing to. I think that that's been put on hold for a second due to some concerns, but I think that if those get worked out, I don't think he'd mind talking to you.
Do you want Ryan to talk with me?
I mean, sure. I mean, I feel like with your expertise, you can maybe give us some advice of how we could better understand each other coming from a professional. I think you could maybe get a sense of him and his personality. I think the world judges him for being in a relationship with me, and I feel like his personality needs to be known as, hey, look, this guy is just a sweet guy who fell in love with me, but he's a good guy. So I don't think he would mind talking to you.
Well, I wish you both the best in your relationship and lives together.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed talking to you, and
Yeah.
wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks for sharing this information. I know you've been poked and prodded quite a bit through this process, but it can also be therapeutic in a way. So you sound good.
I'm happy.
It sounds like you're really, good. It sounds like you're doing what you need to do in prison, and you're doing the time. The time's not doing you, as they say.
Right. Hey, I feel
Excellent.
like, if I didn't have this 10-year sentence, only going to be doing 8.5 of it. But I feel like if I would have been released out into the real world right from the flip, I wouldn't have adjusted as well as I'm probably going to. I needed this time to start learning at least a little bit of adulthood experiences. When I first got to prison,
You have 1 minute left.
I didn't even know how to do my own laundry in a washer and dryer, let alone anything else. So
Right.
I've learned that.
Well, I'm sure the women there have a lot of life experiences you can learn from too.
I've heard a lot of stories. Maybe not all of them.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Hey, well, you take care. You be well, okay?
Thank you. Have a good
All right,
day.
Gypsy. You too, Gypsy. Thanks.
Bye.
Take care.